What a great fight. It was live on talkSPORT at the weekend. He could have won it in the third. He could have lost it in the fourth. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Fair play to Wilder. He come out and he had a real go at it. He came in a little bit heavier than everybody expected him to. That first round, he tried to jab to the stomach of Tyson Fury, which is a decent-sized stomach. You could see his plan. He's trying to catch him with that big right. And I thought it was an excellent first round. It set the tempo, didn't it? But Tyson loves it. He gets second win, third win, fourth win. Third round, if he went for the bell, he could have finished then. Fourth round could have gone the other way if it went for the bell, saved Tyson Fury, possibly. And then from that moment on, he dominated. But the danger still was there. Even though Wilder was on his last legs from round 5, he still had that potential to punch Fury. You just never knew, did you? And he's a tough cookie, Tyson Fury. Absolutely huge respect. You know, I've always been a fan. Remember we had these conversations about when I used to say I preferred Fury over Joshua, and I think he beat him. And we had all the Joshua fans used to come on in and said, not a chance, absolutely. And another thing I used to say is, but the fight I'd still like to see, and I think it'd be an absolute belter, is Joshua versus Wilder. I still think that could be box office. It really, really could.
Who'd win it?
Well, I've no idea. I mean, if Wilder comes out in the same frame of mind as he did against Tyson Fury and with the same energy, Joshua is not going to be able to hide from him. But if Joshua does catch Wilder, you just never know. He punches probably a little bit harder than Fury and he could finish him. So I still think that could be an absolute fight that's down the line. If Joshua loses his next one against Usyk, it's got to be Joshua Wilder. We're set for some good fights.
Yeah, we got Joshua Usyk 2 first. Before that.
We got White and Dillian White and Otto Wellen.
Well, we're just wondering as well. 2 questions. What did you learn from Fury's win at the weekend? 0371722.
He's hard to beat.
There is that, but also, but some have been going on about he's the greatest, all this sort of stuff. So, what your individual opinion from what you witnessed at the weekend? What's your opinion on Tyson Fury now, and what next for him? Because Dillian White's come out with a quote today. Dillian White says, "Hopefully the WBC force the position and he'll have no choice but to fight me. It's a massive British fight. It's a major fight for Britain. 2 British fighters fighting for the heavyweight world championship. That'd be great. You can't argue with that. It would be fantastic, wouldn't it?"
Well, it would be. It's great for Dillian. He's never hid from anyone. We've seen that. He's a proper fighter. I think Tyson Fury has said, but he wants to fight him as well. But of course, down the line, he wants to unify the belts, doesn't he? And he wants that opportunity to fight, whether it be Usyk or Joshua, to have all 4 belts. Because as it sits at the moment, he can talk about lineal belt, but he's got one. He's got 1 belt. And he wants to be a unified champion. And he's got to wait for that now. And he's going to have another fight. He's going to have to fight Dillian White if he obviously beats Otto Wellen. And then he's going to wait to see if Joshua and Usyk. If Joshua wins that one, is that a trilogy? Do they have to fight again? Because it'll be 1-1.
Yeah.
So it's a problem, isn't it? And we all want to see one man have all the belts.
Well, the only problem I've got with the weekend fight, and it was in itself, it was an amazing 11 rounds. It was a fantastic fight between 2 warriors, and you've got to respect them both. But it's their 3rd flipping fight. As somebody has just tweeted me, has said, Tyson Fury needs to stop fighting Wilder. The time has come. Move on. And we don't know. I mean, people talking about him being the greatest of all time. I've seen that. I think our own Jake Wood tweeted that earlier today. I'll put that to Spencer Oliver when he joins us in about 10 minutes. I've seen people say he's the greatest of this era. Well, he hasn't fought Usyk. He hasn't fought Joshua. You know, he's going to fight Dillian White, hopefully. You know, we can't say he's the greatest. He might look like the greatest. He might look like the best of the current heavyweights. But how do we know when he's fought Wilder 3 times and still has to face
the thing
3
is,
of the others?
I think he adapts. I think that's what his ringcraft is unbelievable. The way he goes about different fights. When he wasn't quite ready for Wilder in that first fight, when he took it and nobody could believe it, he took it after losing 11 stone, right? He took that fight and he tried to avoid him and just, you know what I mean, move around the ring and jab and jab and jab and move. And he did win that fight, except for getting knocked down, didn't he, by Wilder, which was an unbelievable get-up in itself. The second one, he decided, well, he's not going to catch me like that again. I'm not going to give him the chance. And totally Wilder just did not expect it. So the third one, Wilder comes in with a different game plan. Tyson does exactly the same. First round, he was a little bit more watchful, and after that, he dominated the ring. Took the centre stage again and pushed Wilder back time and time again. So he can do it different ways. And when you are so big and so tall, 6'9", and weighing in at a good old 20 stone plus, you're going to be hard to beat. Usyk, if he comes in against him, is 4 stone lighter and 6 inches shorter. I mean...
So you're saying it'll be easy for Fury?
Well, it's not going to be easy. Usyk, we've seen, has got huge skills. I mean, that video against Joshua were a proper lesson, wasn't it, for Joshua? He was totally, absolutely rinsed from start to finish. But we've seen through Fury, he gets in, even Wilder, he's a big lad, but he used his weight to his advantage in that fight as well. And he just tired him out time and time again, got the arm in the headlock and pushed him down.
Yeah, isn't that cheating, by the way? Getting somebody in a headlock?
No, it's not. It's using it close in quarters.
Sneaky,
He's brilliant close in. And Wilder found it hard. When you're 6'9" and weighing what he weighs, he's so hard to beat.
All right, with Wilder, right, and we had this discussion.
And he takes a punch, as you've seen.
Yeah, but listen, Tyson Fury could have won it in the third. He could have lost it in the fourth, but they was literally saved by the bell. But so he's beaten a slugger. Let's put it. Deontay Wilder's incredibly brave.
That he impressed me, Wilder, in that fight. That fight.
What impressed you?
Wilder.
Yeah, but what about him? His technical skill?
For him to last that long.
Right, okay.
To last that long, coming in at the weight he did, trying again, he went out. He knew he was only going to lose that fight by a proper knockout. He wasn't just going to avoid him and run round the ring. We've seen that so many times from other boxers.
Hang on a second. If you're right, and he was knocked out in the end, but if it had gone the full distance, he would still have lost the fight. There was no doubt that Tyson Fury was winning that fight comfortably. Okay,
but he tried to win it his way.
Of course,
so fair play to him.
Yeah, and absolutely right. But there wasn't a lot of technical skill. There was a lot of windmills, a lot of wild punching from Deontay Wilder, which is what he's about. And if he connects with one of those, you're going to go down. As we've seen, he's had Tyson Fury on the canvas 4 times, hasn't he? In these fights, so he can do that. But he didn't land a punch that knocked out.
He would have knocked out so many others.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is...
It's Tyson Fury he can't knock out.
If Tyson Fury comes up against somebody who really is technically more gifted than he is...
Well, Usyk, but he's not got the power, probably, of Wilder. So that's going to be the hard thing for anybody coming up against Fury. And that's why a lot of the experts, when you hear them talk about it, are saying they just can't see who's going to beat him. Yes, every heavyweight goes in there. They've all got a puncher's chance. Dillian Whyte is going to be the same as Wilder. He's a big bloke, Dillian Whyte, isn't he? Right, and we've seen he's got a decent jab and he loves that left hook, right? So he's got a good punch on him, Dillian Whyte. We've seen that. And he's taken punches in the past. But we've also seen in the fights, he tires after 5 or 6 rounds. So it'll be interesting what he does, Tyson Fury, when he fights Dillian Whyte. Is he just going to box around the ring and tire him out and then knock him out? Well, or does he do exactly the same as he's done to Wilder? He's a puncher's chance, so he's just going to go in and not give him any space.
And the size thing, I said
and he's
earlier,
a big lad, Dillian
when
Whyte.
We were talking earlier, I said, and people were talking about the greatest of all time, I said, listen, Mike Tyson, at his peak, I think would have beaten anybody. And then he said he's much smaller.
How does he get near? How does he get near Tyson Fury?
It's an interesting one. Let's get your thoughts on it. 2 questions. What did we learn? And what next for the champ, Tyson Fury? 08717 223344. It's Drive on talkSPORT with WeBuyAnyCar.com. There's now over 425 branches nationwide. Find your closest now.